More news this week about the investigation into the 2020 election in Georgia. NBC News confirming the Fulton County Special Grand Jury listened to another phone call from former President Donald Trump and then House Speaker David Ralston. Joining me now is Chuck Todd, moderator of NBC's Meet the Press, which airs Sundays on 11 Alive at 10. Now, Chuck, the call features Trump pressuring Ralston to call for a special legislative session in hopes of overturning President Biden's victory. And the more we hear about what this grand jury heard and saw, what insight are we getting into this investigation and the other legal issues facing the former president?
Look, I think the fact that there is a second phone call, the fact that this was a concerted effort, this wasn't a one-off. You can't just sit there and say, based on one phone call that we all heard that was made public, and make these assumptions. You now have a pattern. And that's always an important thing to establish. If you can establish a pattern, I just think it actually strengthens the case. You know, all the different potential indictments that the former president is facing, the most concrete area where it appears that he just broke simple laws is in Georgia. In Georgia, it's pretty cut and dry. It feels like there's not a lot of subtlety here or unusual legal theory to try to get the indictment. This is pretty straightforward.
Let's talk about Stacey Abrams for a moment. Recently, she told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that she will likely run for office again, although there has been some reaction that some Democrats are ready to move on. Chuck, is this a case of her being more popular among national Democrats than maybe state Democrats, at least when it comes to running for office?
Look, I always thought, when I look back at her 2022 campaign, I always thought the ad that did her in and it exemplified how she really hurt her own brand over that 4-year period. The Kemp folks basically ran an ad attacking her for wanting to run for president and attacking her celebrity. And I think the ad closed with an image of her in costume on Deep Space Nine, you know, in the Star Trek show. And I thought, boy, I thought that ad ends her campaign. Look, I think that there's no doubt there is some probably exhaustion, voter fatigue in Georgia. I think there is some with national donors. But if you're her, I understand what she's thinking. I think she needs to go back to basics, you know, lick her wounds. She lost twice, run for another office, win something, and, you know, you could start again. There's always time. There's always, we love a comeback story. We love second acts. But I think she's got to blaze her own second act on her own, and then her popularity would come back.
Chuck, thank you so much. As always, Meet the Press airs Sunday morning at 10 on 11 Alive.